Hey kids, it's Old Man shouting at clouds, and now with others too. Chatting about the CFL is what they're going to do. Some have no contacts and others have no clues. Everyone will tell us all their quirky football views. Hear what Old Man and others know. It's the CFL Outsiders Show.
Hey GT, what are we gonna do this week?
Same thing we do every week, old man. Take over the CFL.
Hey kids, welcome back to a brand new season. Season 3 of the CFL Outsiders. Who'd have thunk we'd last this long? I remain, as always, your 100% unbiased, completely impartial host, Old Man Shouting at Clouds. And joining me, as we've done in the past, we have a panel of experts. Now, a lot of these panels are football experts, where they can break down the tape, and someone like maybe J.C. Abbott can tell you everything about what's going on in the draft. Our panel, they're good on football, but what they're experts at is fans. They've both been fans of this league forever, and they know what they're talking about when it comes to the trials and tribulations of the CFL. So back this year, we've got MJ.
Hey everyone, the snow is gone, the robins are here, there's baseball outside my window, and the sound of the gridiron is back. So excited.
Yes, sir. CFL football, yay. And GT.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another new tradition. As our principal used to say in high school, another first for Cawthron Park. Let's make it a tradition. So the tradition continues that after every win this year, I will be wearing the jersey. After every loss, I will be in constellation colors of some other type. So here we go. We are 1-0. Let's go.
Yes, and you earned that in the preseason there.
Hey, a win's a win, as Dave says. You got to win them all.
Exactly. Never hurts starting the winning culture early. I'll give you that. And I got to say, folks that are back from before will have noticed we've got, as we talked about in the offseason, a brand new logo. We're changing the look a little bit. We're trying to update stuff. Apparently, folks are liking it. We're seeing more and more people paying attention. I wanted to mention we've had a few folks start to throw in some comments, and that's great to see. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Hit a like. It's easy to do. And if you've got anything to say, throw in a comment. We love to hear them. And frankly, that's how we feed the algorithm god. That's what he likes. So just to mention a couple of folks that have been paying attention, we've got Theodore King, 8468 here. And we were talking about the moving the season up early. And Theodore put in a number of really good comments. Go to YouTube and you can read them there. A lot of good ones. Some I agree with, some I don't. But this one that I'm just going to do, he talked about the snow in training camp isn't a big deal. There are indoor facilities that can be used. The snow can be cleared like they do for regular season games. CFL will have taken that into consideration. And I got to say, Theodore, overall on the schedule, you've kind of convinced me. I don't like a lot of what they're doing, but when they put the games out there, that's up to the league. And if they're going to finalize it as a May long weekend start and move ahead, let's just hope that tradition works. You're right. So of all the things I might complain about, that's one I'm going to stop. And then the other one I wanted to mention, just because I got a kick out of this, it was Degenerate 4232. Not for nothing, but I'm looking forward to see how this will all play out. He was talking about the new playoff formats. And then he said, and if it means more GT rants, then I'm here for it. LOL. So the rants are proving popular.
I'm not sure you can avoid those no matter what happens this year. So there we go.
Well, that's a good thing because folks are liking them. So thank you I should say thank you both for a great season last year. Having you both come on the podcast has really made it a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable, and people are apparently starting to take to that. So good stuff. I will jump right into things. I don't know how long this one's going to be. It's our first one of the season, but there's only so much to talk about. We've had one preseason game, of course, and then we've had the training camps. And frankly, I don't know if it's that I'm a little more disengaged or if there's just been less. I'm not seeing a lot of news out of the first week of any of the training camps. Nothing big, nothing that would sort of really make me stand up and take notice. How about the two of you? Anything?
Well, I think so far there hasn't been another cut down date since the initial one. I sent whatever we do, call that on Blue Sky, put out a message just saying there was some surprises in the first few days of cut downs at the first round where they had to get down to 85. There were a few names that I was a little bit surprised about. No huge names, but still some pretty steady guys, and some multi-year veterans that I was surprised were released that early. Since then, there's been no cut down necessary, so I don't think we have anything to really hear about. I think this year's been pretty good. Blue Sky has now, for everybody that doesn't already know, I think all three of us are off of Twitter and onto Blue Sky as our main source of information. And finally, this year, most of the teams, in fact, all the teams and the league are now mirroring their. No, not everybody.
It's not the league that did it. Somebody made bots that are just reposting them. So somebody went and did the good work of just automating it for all of us.
So it's don't
give the teams credit. Yeah. It's not them.
It's there at least. Oh, it's an MJ rant. There we go. But yes, at least it's there. And I've been seeing a lot of news that I hadn't been seeing, like I did not see last year. And so that's been great. There's been a lot of, it's all internal hype from their own PR teams. Everybody's fantastic. And, it's a winning season to be sure type of stuff. But at least it is information and you're getting it. So I've been pretty pleased with that.
I just have my two surprise cuts things that are happening. The Argos cut Daggy, and he's over in BC now. And the Ticats released Keaton Berkling. So
yes.
Our guest Ken and I had a little cry about it, and we sorted through some feelings. And my favorite thing out of training camp is the social media videos, and the Red Blacks have been giving some of their players plants to take care of during training camp. So that's been fun to watch them try to keep them alive. And my favorite is every team's doing this, I think, well, except for a few, but they have they're asking players when they were born. And if it starts with 19, they just put a dinosaurs in the background.
Yeah.
It makes me realize how young all these players are.
No kidding.
Yes, I think it was in the game, the preseason game, that they mentioned somebody playing out there was born in 2005. And I thought, oh my God, life just keeps right on going by. Well, as far as Berkling goes, I'm not going to be too sad yet, because he was a solid Canadian player, and as teams get through training camps and get some injuries and see what they have, I wouldn't be surprised if he's back somewhere in the league.
I'm wondering if a part of it is that he wants to keep bobsledding, like bobsled training.
That could be too. He'll have time to dedicate to it.
But so, they'll have to find another team that'll let him do both. Kind of like Shohei Ohtani can pitch and bat.
There was a time that wasn't such an amazing thing, but I'm just thinking back to baseball history like I know any of it. The only thing that I noticed, and it's not really a training camp thing, it's just one of the things where the things are cyclical. And I was looking at a bit of the stuff out of camps, and I realized, we went into the season last year. I think our first broadcast, we were talking about the fact that every team had a good seasoned backup quarterback behind the starters, and so that they looked like they were in good shape. And that has certainly turned around in the West this year. The East, they've still pretty good, but if you look at it in the West, it is. I mean, Edmonton has got Powell, who's got some game experience, but other than that, BC's not really got anything. Calgary's got a battle. Well, yeah, they have Daggy now. I guess, sorry, I forgot that. Yeah, so he may be the number 2. But Calgary's got a battle going. Saskatchewan does. Winnipeg, everyone assumes it's going to be Elgersma, but he's never played a CFL game. So could be interesting if the starters start to miss some time in the West.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's one of the most, I think that is one of the funnest things about the preseason, is seeing those kind of things and watching those battles where there are, positions open or a veteran that might be losing it to a rookie. And those are always good. And I think the backup quarterbacks in the West is probably the key story of the training camps. And so far, we'll see what happens in these games coming up. But on Monday, there wasn't much indication of anyone really standing out. So we'll see.
Well, there, you blew my lead in, GT. Because I was going to say, speaking of which, let's talk about how they did the ones in the game on Monday did. Because really it was that's okay. It was an early preseason game, and my personal thought was it was good to see some football again. Nothing jumped out as, oh, here's a potential star coming out of here. Nothing jumped out as, oh, this looks terrible. It was just a preseason game. And how about for you? How did you see it? Let's start with MJ there.
Well, so they're actually lucky they had nice weather because 2 days before it was snowing in Calgary for the soccer game. So they were nice that they had nice weather. I'm actually surprised they started VA. I saw that depth chart and I was like, excuse me, what? Okay. So he played. I actually didn't even watch. I didn't even start this game till the second half, so I didn't actually get to see him play. My things are not football related. They are announcer related. My favorite things were there was the Calgary radio guys, and they're actually quite fun. My son actually was like, I actually liked this better than the regular announcers. But they got caught on the hot mic at least twice, where they went to commercial and they were over talking the commercial. So we all got to hear some behind the scenes about how they're going to come back in from break. So that was a little behind the scenes look, and it's always fun to like have some local accents, because how that announcer was pronouncing Hawaii was Hawaii, and that's how it's now being pronounced at my house constantly.
Okay. Yes. I also noticed that now that Dante McMahon has moved to McMahon Stadium, they're calling him Dante McMahon again.
Oh, those Calgary announcers did not get the league memo, did they?
No, they did not.
I couldn't figure out who they were talking about for a minute. I was like, who are they talking about? And I was like, oh, McMahon. So we'll see.
Yeah, they actually had an interview with McMahon after the game with the Stampeders broadcast girl, Natasha, and she asked him, how do you want us to pronounce it? And he said, I'm fine with McMahon. I've been called McMahon forever, and now I'm at the stadium, but my name technically is McMahon. And she said, okay, you're McMahon from here on. So hopefully they figure that out on the radio too. So yeah, but they did go through it for the local color, at least, to let people know. Yeah, that was good. I thought the broadcast was exactly what you said, old man. It was okay. The game was okay. There wasn't anything tremendous. VA threw a couple of bombs, one that worked, one that didn't, although I thought they could have challenged the one that didn't. And I thought the most interesting and the best thing about the broadcast was with the first break that they did was an ad for flag football and for the Olympic flag football thing. And I thought that was really well done. I thought that was a really nice, nicely shot, nice ad. And then I was hyped because I thought, oh, we're going to see more than just shots. And then for the rest of the game, it was just the player shots for, minutes. So I just skipped through it as much as I could. And hence I missed the two things that you talked about, MJ, there with the local guys. So I didn't hear either of them. But I didn't think there was any real standouts either. I thought Calgary's defense swarmed to the ball, if nothing else. But it was almost like a peewee game where a play would happen and be 15 guys running at the ball. It was a little bit of that. There was a couple of nice catches from both sides, but there wasn't anything outstanding. What did you think of the quarterbacking? I'm interested in your opinion of the quarterbacking, old man, for Saskatchewan in particular.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll start with Calgary, because Calgary had more people out there to see. And I will say right off the bat that I think probably every quarterback that played in that game had at least one throw they'd want back, including VA on the deep bomb. But like you said, that's early season rust. He did look good. Outside of VA, for the little bit that we got, I actually thought that Wooldridge looked the best out of the Calgary pivots back there. I thought I know Love's got more time in the league, but I thought Wooldridge looked better. On the Saskatchewan side, to me, Cone looked like somebody who needs more live reps. And I can't tell if he's going to turn into something good or if it's going to be misplaced trust for the last 3 or 4 years. But he didn't look terrible out there, but he made some mistakes. And like I said, needs more time. I know Dunk from the 3 Down guys has been raving the few times I've heard him about was it Shagler? I think they're the 3rd or 4th string in Saskatchewan now, the 22-year-old out of Hawaii.
Yes, that guy.
Hawaii. And I don't know what he was watching. I mean, he's an ex-college quarterback, so I'll bow to his expertise there. But Schegler, he made a couple of nice throws. He threw to the right place a couple of times, but he was also inaccurate and missing, throwing where it shouldn't have been in my mind. So I was not near as high on that. I think that based on what I saw, that the riders have to hope that Cone actually turns into something for when they need him during the season. Any dissent from either of you?
Actually, I was more interested, and I asked specifically about Saskatchewan because of the headline on the 3 Down article, and I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline, and again, I'm sorry, I cannot get over it. I need to get over it. I have to get over it, but it just makes me nuts. It's like Pavlov's dog. As soon as 3 Downs leads with a rider story like that, I'm like, what game were you watching? Where does this come from? I didn't see that. Am I wrong? Or what are you looking at? And you just basically said what I saw. He looked okay, but it's the third or the fourth quarter of an exhibition game or a preseason game against third string guys that don't even
He was directing traffic, I heard.
I didn't see, I have not read the article, so I cannot make comments on it, but just the headline, as I say, it's like, guys, stop doing that. You're supposed to be a league-wide coverage. It's like, ay. But anyway, I got to get over it. That's my issue, not theirs.
I'm so happy this is happening first episode.
Okay, yeah. It's, well, like I've said before, they are officially part of Hardwood Broadcasting now, the official voice of the riders, and I know Dunk is on the pregame show and the postgame shows, and I think he does all on the radio, of course. I think he does some of the halftime in that, and yeah, he's, I believe he's drinking the Kool-Aid.
Maybe.
Just to get away from this, so we don't have a. I tried. Because all I saw the whole commercial time was CFL Pick'em, and my kid kept bugging me. So we went on the site, we're doing our little pick'ems, and then it kept giving me an error. Did that happen to you guys?
I didn't even try it.
Yeah.
It just kept giving me an error message.
Yeah. I don't know. I tried to get in today and it seemed to work fine. I set up my personal account and I set up one for the show so that when we do our stuff later,
I was able to do my picks, and as
place.
soon as I hit save, it was like, no. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's working now.
Okay.
But there's still a lot of stuff going on there that's strange. We'll talk about that a little bit. And I will say, in Justin Dunk's defense, I have been part of the Riders broadcast team way back in the day, not actually on the air, but I was the tech from 87 to 90, the tech I was the chief engineer for the station. So I did all the broadcast setup and that. And it's awful hard not to drink the Kool-Aid when you're around that. It is just 24 of positive rider vibes all over the place. It's so, it's hard to stay neutral.
Yeah, and he didn't look horrible. It's not like he was pumping the tires of a guy that looked terrible. But at the same time, and again, I will, full disclosure, I did not read the article, so I don't know. But the headline is just the bait, that whole clickbait thing that drives me crazy.
So before we move on, we'll do it quick, but what about you on the Calgary quarterbacks behind VA?
I thought Love was disappointing. I thought and hoped that he would be a solid number 2. I've said that here and I've said it other places. And I thought he started very slow and got a little better and then threw a touchdown. But I thought he looked tentative and I thought he looked a little worried about his job. I thought Woodridge looked really poised when he came in. Again, who's he playing against is your big questions. But I thought he looked pretty good. He made a couple of really nice passes. We'll see. And I thought, what's his name? Jacoby, the last quarterback. I can't remember his last name, which is horrible. And I apologize. But he was, again, Dave said he's only been there a week or two. He has no background. So it was pretty tough for him to maneuver much. And he's a big body is what I thought more than anything. he's not a quarterback-looking quarterback. He's a linebacker-looking quarterback. He's a big body.
He's
So,
a short yardage quarterback?
no, they don't really need that.
No.
But he just reminds me of a guy that was in Montreal in that whole, rotation after Coville was gone. They had one guy that was just massive as a quarterback. And this guy kind of reminded me of him a little bit stature-wise. And he may turn out, he may not. And Dickinson said afterwards that he's going to, he's not doing any cuts until he has to, and he's going to run all 4 quarterbacks. And he said in the interview that, hey, there might be somebody else that's let loose by another team that we go after instead. And so he's not set with the 4 guys he has, and he's not set any order of them yet. And you know what? Montreal brought back James Morgan, which I thought was kind of odd.
What I was going to say on Wildridge, though, was the thing that impressed me the most was there was at least twice I saw where the riders blitzed, and he basically threw where the hole was that was created by the blitz was, and completed nice passes. And so that kind of recognition in your first preseason game in the CFL, that impressed me. Anything else about it? Or, I guess I should say the other thing is, you mentioned the flag football. They also had some interviews with little snippets with players that they played at halftime and during some of the commercial breaks and that. So they did have a little more commercial content. It was nice to see them doing that. I want to see more. It doesn't take that much to have something unique for each commercial break. And then, we're going to play the season predictor because it seemed to sear into my brain. It was still 50% of the ad time was to play the CFL season predictor. So we'll get to that later. All right. We're going to talk about the latest rule changes, and we discovered here as we were getting ready for this that GT's got them, but a few technical difficulties, so we may or may not see his smiling face while he gives us the rule changes.
So,
Over to you, GT.
I'm going to read them off, and you're going to hear my dulcet tones, but you're not going to, unfortunately, or fortunately, as the case may be, depending on your outlook, be able to gaze upon me at the same time. Please forgive me while I disappear for a few minutes, but this is only a technical thing, and I hopefully shall return without any issues. Let's make this work. Let the magic going. Here we go. So they have keynotes on rule changes directly from the CFL website. The final 3 minutes will be 20-second play clock maintained. So that's good. And I want to talk about briefly, that does bring back to the game that we just talked about. I was watching the play clock during that game to see if I could see the 35 seconds and how it impacted my viewing of the game. And I don't know if it was because it was the one camera or if it was because it was a preseason game, but it seemed to me that there was an awful lot of time where that clock just showed 35 seconds and stuck there. I thought it was supposed to count down immediately upon the previous play being dead, and yet that didn't seem to happen. So I'm not sure whether it was me, whether it was the game, whether it was the broadcast. But that's interesting.
Because I was worried that we were going to have less showboating and hot dogging, because by the time you do your barrel roll and do your air guitar, the play is snapped again.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is that. There's the first one. The second one is the regular season overtime. So no more ties, basically, is what it comes down to, is that they are getting rid of ties. And again, this is something that our friend Stuart talked about as far back as September when he, going back to his high school days, he hated ties, apparently. So that was something. So they've done away with ties. 2 mini games from the 35-yard line. Those will still happen. But if it's still a tie after that, we will now have a shootout from the 2-point conversions until somebody actually wins. Again, I believe, and this is just my, tinfoil hat stuff, I believe that this is all about gambling, because the bookies and the trendsetters, line setters hate ties. They know that they've complained about it every time they show some guy in Vegas, his head tilts when they say you can do a rouge or you can get a tie. Those are the two things that they tilt on. So I'm pretty positive, no matter what the league likes to say, this is more about the gambling than anything else.
So quickly, do you still get a point if you've made it to overtime?
No.
Or is it like after the mini game shootout, 0 points if you lose it?
0 points if you lose it. So So there will. So yeah, that's where I think that comes into the gambling aspect. Again, I'm not a degenerate gambler like some people are, but I believe that's the case. Okay, so it's automatic review on turnovers on downs. So a turnover on downs ruling will result in an automatic review from the replay center. I don't see what difference that makes unless they're going to have a completely different weird camera that we're not going to be able to see. Because in a pile up on a short yardage, it's the 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, and it's especially now that they're going to ask teams to go for it more and not kick field goals with the change next year, then you might have 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s even, and a big mug of players all in there. How are they going to spot the ball and how will they know? And what difference that'll make is going to be interesting. Then the QB kneels to end a half or a game. A half or the game may end on a single kneel if all of the following conditions are met. The defense does not possess a timeout. It is first down and the offense wishes to end the half or the game. 40 seconds or fewer remain on the game clock. So you have to have all 3 of those. So I don't believe it's going to turn into 2 minutes left in the game and like the NFL and people are wandering onto the field.
Yeah.
I'm going to say my piece on this. I've wanted to change that rule forever. My whole thing is there should be no kneel downs as long as the game is within a converted touchdown. So if the game score is within a converted touchdown, in my opinion, no matter how much time is left, if it's 1 second on the clock, you should have to put the ball in play. The whole point of this game is 2. Number 1, the offense to put the ball in play to try to score. And number 2, the defense to take the ball away and prevent them from scoring and try to score. So as long as it's within a converted touchdown, I believe, in my own personal opinion, the rule should be simply you're not allowed to, because it can be a fumble, it can be an incomplete pass, it could be a bad snap, it can be any of those things under the pressure of, you need to do it. So as long as it's within a converted touchdown, and that includes the 2-point conversion, then you should be able to, the defense should get the chance to get the ball back. That's my own opinion. Everybody that's out there that listening to us or whatever, or if you guys have a different opinion, please let me know. But that's how I believe they could have changed that rule. They should have changed that rule, and it would make the league distinct again. It would make it exciting again, and it would have given us yet another way that we could watch those final 3 minutes of the game on the edge of our seats.
That's a fair point. I'm going to give us a baseball analogy. And the kneel downs near the end, especially at halftime when the clock is really close, it's kind of like in baseball where they used to intentionally walk batters, and they had to make the catcher stand a foot away, and the catcher would stand up, and they wouldn't even throw the ball, and they just lob the ball in, and we'd all have to, then the catcher throws it back, and then the batter could step out of the box, step back there, and we're all just waiting and watching and it would take forever. And now they just say, we're intentionally walking this person, just go to first base. Like, do not do the whole rigmarole. Like, this is pointless. Just we know what you're doing, just go to first. So I feel like they're kind of trying to say, like, okay, there's less than 40 seconds left. No one has a timeout. It's just we know you're going to kneel it 3 times. Just forget it. Just wrap it up and let's go. At the end of the game is a little bit dicier because there's a 20-second clock. And as we all know, what can happen in 20 seconds. End of half, probably a little more just take your base. But I think at the end of the game, maybe not so much. But I guess we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. So the next one was dead ball placement. If a kick goes out of bounds, basically, and no points are awarded, you're going to scrimmage from the 40. Everybody was trying to figure out where that was going to go, where the ball was going to be. It's going to be at the 40-yard line. I'm wondering if they're going to change that next year when we go to the shorter field, because that's awfully close.
That's so
awfully
close.
So this might be adjusted next year for the shorter field, and it might go back to the 30 instead. It might go to the 35. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's exhausting. Just leave it as 1.
Yeah.
Just leave it. But the 40 is instant field position, really.
Yeah.
You can coffin corner a kick from there easily. Especially if you take out once the extra 10 yards are out, like there are going to be kicker. Well, I guess the goalposts will be at the end, but so it's different. But still, you're in immediate field position any way you cut it.
Agreed.
I think we lost Oldman.
Okay, well, perhaps it's just you and I running the show
It's just
again.
you and I running the rules. He just didn't want to be a part of the rules.
That's right. Hoist the flag.
Too cool for school.
I'm back. Sorry, I don't know quite what happened there.
Yeah, we both just ranted about the kneel down.
So there's just a couple small ones left here that they're not really big deal. Roster flexibility and ineligible receivers. Those aren't a big deal. The other ones were the major ones.
There's no player safety rules this year, rule changes this year.
With the kneel down, I don't quite understand. I mean, I'm not going to get terribly upset about it. It's a small thing, but why? You know, it worked. It's part of our tradition for forever that we played till the end of the game. This is one more thing that moves us closer to looking like the NFL. Changes for the sake of change. Why? You know, are you going to save 40 seconds on your broadcast time? Who cares?
They care a lot.
Apparently. It'll have a lot to do with getting that new deal, which we're still not hearing anything about. But
Yes.
but other than that, to me, they're all house cleaning rules. Like you said, MJ, nothing about player safety. Does that mean they have it right? I don't know.
Nothing about weather protocols this year.
Yeah. Or smoke. As we head into the super Godzilla behemoth El Nino season.
There's already wildfires in Alberta, so...
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
you're going to love our rants about the kneel down. You're going to love it. We had differing opinions. It was great.
Well, we'll see what my editing skills are, how I can make something out of the mishmash that was my internet connection. All right. Let's go on to the power rankings. We put that in because CFL hasn't released their AMSOL ones yet, but Down released theirs, although I just went back onto the site to try and find it and couldn't. So I
wrote them down.
Okay, good. Well, I've got them here too, but if you've got them easy to read through, we can do that. I went the other way. I went back to where I'd posted them on the Reddit CFL and opened it up that way. But they basically, I thought they played it safe. They went with the 4 division finalists as their top 4 and went from there. Do you want to read them out for us, MJ?
All right, so number 1. Well, I will save my commentary for after. I will just read them out, and then I will comment after. 1, Riders. 2, Lions. 3, Alouettes. 4, Ticats. 5, Stamps. 6, Bombers. 7, Elks. 8, Red Blacks. 9, Argos. So that's how 3 Down has stacked it up. No surprise, they put the Riders first. No, JK. They won Grey Cup. They're allowed to be first.
Yeah,
defending
absolutely.
champs.
Yeah. I agree with that one.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with those rankings at this stage of the game.
I played them. I thought they played it very safe, going with what they did, and I don't know that they paid attention to sort of some of the stuff that's going on. I'll tell you what mine are, and then if you want, you can go from there.
All right.
And I'll even throw in a couple where I'm off sort of more from what they are, and I'll explain why. So I had Sask at the top because, again, you're defending Grey Cup champs. You should get that out of respect. I had Montreal number 2. I still think that they looked like the second best team in the league, and I think that they're going to probably improve this year. My third one, and it's got a lot to do with the fact that they've got what could be a reasonably good backup and what they've had in the past. I've got Winnipeg at number 3. And I know nobody's doing that, but wouldn't be surprised. Then I went with Hamilton, who's been close but can't seem to put it together. Then I had Calgary. And the only reason I didn't have Calgary higher is I feel like I've got to see VA put together a full season. He's been good, but there's been the lulls in them. So there's that. I had BC below them, and mainly because their offense is fantastic, but until I see a defense, I'm not sure that they're going to do as well in this year's league as what people think. I had Edmonton at number 7, Ottawa at 8, and Toronto at 9. So I was sort of the same at the top and the bottom as them, but I think the middle will be a little different than what people are saying right now. Feel free to throw stones at my picks.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, everybody's picks are, that's power rankings. That's not picks. So there's difference. I've just looked at it as right now, a power ranking to me is right this week, right now, and that's how I view it versus season predictor. Mine are different than those power rankings that I agreed to from three down. So I'm closer to where you are on, or at least I have some different projections that people might shake their head at on season-long projections that I did.
Okay, yeah. Fair to that, I will say I probably should have thought of it more of a power ranking. Who will win the first games that they play? And mine was more looking at a bit more of a prediction, how the season could play out, and just sort of on the relative strengths of them. So anything else around that, or anything more we need to talk about?
I wouldn't put a team who doesn't have a viable backup as a number 2 in a power ranking, but
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah. Well, there is that, mind you, depends what you call a viable backup. Crumb, he may be a viable backup. So, that's what I said. They went with BC as number 2, and I agree with that. Mind you, they've got a team without a proven backup as their number 1 as well. If we're going by backup quarterbacks, it would be the top, or the 4 Eastern teams at the top, and then go from there.
Like 20 different ranking systems based on different,
which is why power rankings are so much fun. But it's not so much doing it as much as it is just seeing reactions to them, because there's always somebody that blows up based on what you've said, right? And I'm like,
the tune-out guys do a power ranking. Sheldon does power rankings, and people lose it every time he does them. It's the best.
Yes. I think there's a reason we've stayed away from doing that. It's a little too controversial.
Anyway, I have no problem doing it every week if you like.
Sure. Well, if we can certainly do that. If you want to add it in.
We have to have criteria, though, based on uniform color. Who is the power rankings this week?
Yes. Okay. Moving on. Well, actually, not quite moving on, but I'm going to display my incredible ignorance of any sports outside football. I just noticed Edmonton Stingers. What's that? Oh, is that the CB?
It's the CEBL team.
Okay. I should have asked that one more item down the rundown. It would have been a nice lead-in. We'll come back to that.
You ruined your run.
Because the only other thing I had ahead of it was just, again, no new CFL.
It ties in.
Yeah. Well, no new CFL app, and the website doesn't seem... I mean, they're doing something. One of the things I noticed as I was setting up the accounts today was you get into your account and it's got a place to link all your social media links on when you dig deep enough in. And it says you have no social media accounts and there's no way to put them in. So it must still be a work in progress. They've got a explanation of the fantasy game up there, but not really saying, oh, you'll be able to use the waiver wire and do this and that, or you can still play the way that we've always played, the weekly one if you want, and nothing more with 2 weeks to go. So,
well, we have to admit, though, they said by the time the regular season starts, so they've got 2 weeks grace yet.
They do.
I'm not. When they're 2 weeks in, then we can get on them. But for now, we have to, just be nice, guys. Be nice.
Yeah. Weren't they also supposed to be announcing a new TV deal before the season started?
There's 2 weeks to go.
Season hasn't started.
It's a busy 2 weeks.
Nothing counts. Every team's 0-1. Every team's 1-0. Come on.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so now let me reuse that stinger I wasted.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, MJ, you're wearing an Edmonton Stingers. Is that CEBL?
Hey, guys, I'm learning about basketball.
Yeah. You've got something to tell us about what they're doing with their league and media and everything.
So if the CFL wants to take some notes from a league that has been just started in 19, pay attention. Mike Morelli has built something quite incredible. They have a new deal with CBC to air all their games on CBC, CBC Gem, and on YouTube. And my husband wanted to make sure I noted that the YouTube games are in 4K.
Nice.
They look very nice.
Yep.
Last year, the last couple of years, they've had a deal with TSN, and it was blurry. It was on TV. It was blurry. it was unwatchable, which felt bad because whenever we were at games, there's guys doing, they had play-by-play, they had sideline reporters, and they were clearly doing, like, they were working hard, and it just looked like garbage on TSN. So now they're on CBC, and the CBC did really nice social media and announcing all their announcers, color commentators, play-by-play, in-game hosts, commentators, like halftime panelists, and one of their halftime panelists she's also doing the WNBA as well. My son pointed that out to me. He was on it. He knew. So they also have and also the games. This is where the app comes in. The games are also on the app. I actually did a little video earlier today of just going through their app to kind of show people. I posted it on my Blue Sky. We posted it to Instagram. I sent it to you guys. If you didn't watch it, don't. It's totally fine. But it has everything. You can watch full games. You can watch highlights of a game. You can watch a condensed game, which is about 10 minutes of every single game in the league. You can look at during games. They have an in-game tracker. It'll tell you when a timeout was called. It'll tell you when a substitution was coming in, when a substitution was coming out. Everything. It's very detailed. You can click on a player at any time during a game. It'll tell you their stats so far for the game, their rebounds, their assists, their whatever, field goal percentage, everything. Imagine if the CFL had receiver runtime stats like that. You just go to the app, go to your game, click what's Jalen doing. Oh, here's his targets. Here's how much he's ran. Here's his anything. And then you can go and it has all the player stats for the entire league. It has league leaders. It has by teams. You can look at the standings. For this year, you can look at the standings from every single year. You can look at the roster for each team for every single year they've been playing. So any data that you want is available to you, free. So I don't know what the CFL is doing, but they need to do something like this.
Yeah, and apparently it's possible. I'm guessing the CEBL is not partnered with Genius Sports, and that may have a lot to do with it. But it would be fantastic to see that sort of thing come into the CFL. And if frankly, the CEBL is doing a good job, but they are a smaller, newer league. If they can do this, then there's no reason
they have
the CFL
9 teams.
Yep.
They have the same amount of teams.
Yeah, but by smaller, I didn't necessarily mean team size as much as just exposure. I'm fairly sure that whether you're a fan or not, probably everybody in Canada, if you say the CFL, they know what you're talking about. That
so
may
really,
not
there
be
should
true
be
of the
no
CEBL.
excuse for not being actually ahead of the CBL in this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's no excuse at all. You're both making very valid points, and it's the same point. That there's no reason that the CFL should not already have an app. They should have had an app 5 or 10 years ago, a minimum 5 and maybe even 10 that makes sense and just been updating it and making it better and better. And instead, you've got, as MJ says, an upstart league that has that. Yes, they have smaller rosters, but there are the technology's there, and they've managed to do this on a shoestring budget and make it all work. And they've had a guy with vision running the league from day one, and he has said flat out that he wants to work for the CFL. He would love to work for the CFL. Morelli said that last year in an interview. So if they wanted to bring somebody on board, that's the guy. We talked about it here on the show last fall. That's the guy that they could hire, or at least hire as a consultant, even if it's not a full-time gig, and say, make this work for us. Get this, give us your expertise on how you've managed to make your social media and your platforms work. And I don't know whether it's Genius Sports or whether they're just a patsy that we all, like to blame, but it's embarrassing still that the league is this far behind. It just is. And when again, a small upstart Canadian basketball, admittedly, I mean, if there's people that say nobody watches Canadian football, well, no one watches Canadian basketball. And that's not a word of a lie, other than diehard locals that are watching it in those marketplaces. And yet they've managed to come up with a television contract that gives them all those options. Yet they've managed to put together a platform that gives them all this availability. It's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. And this football league that we all love still continues to be just not in the right places. It's just not in the
Well,
right place.
I will tell you, our family for the second year in a row have bought season tickets for CEBL over CFL in our city. Because it's just been such an enjoyable experience and we've
Yeah.
had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see us on TV. We're always on TV and we're not blurry this year.
Smaller fan base to pan through. So yeah, you're there. Well, leadership matters. So let's put a pin in that. We'll check back in, let's say 2030, and see where the two leagues are comparatively.
Dear friends, just go check out a CEBL game. Watch a condensed 10-minute game. Go cheer on some local Canadian basketball talent. There's some really exciting players coming up in Canada.
Well, what I'll do is I haven't had a chance to see the video that you put out earlier, but if I can, I'll get it up on YouTube as well, and I'll link it through to in the show note or in the show description here if anybody wants to get through and look for that specifically.
For sure.
Yeah, like I said, the two leagues are in different trends right now, and be interesting 5 years out where they're at.
It's interesting because this league's starting to attract I went to a season ticket holder event and almost half the team are played on G League teams. So they're getting talent in. I mean, it's not competition. I don't think it's competition because they're very different, but this is just an example of what is possible.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Now we're gonna end trying to end on some positive and some fun notes here get the first season going so that we're looking happy and going forward. So the first thing is MJ's pulled out the tarot cards again and apparently going to do some predictions for the season.
Yes, this is my way too early tarot projections for 2026. So I pulled 2 cards for each team. I pulled the vibe check for the start of the season, and then I pulled a how is it going to end. So I think for fun, because I want to save some things for last, I think we're going to go through the starter, how the season's going to start for each team. So I'll go west to east because that's how I like to do things. BC Lions, 7 of Swords, trickery and deception. Get ready for unconventional wins and trick plays.
That sounds about right.
Yes. The Elks have the King of Swords, which is clarity and mental strength. Have the tools if they can get over the mental block. The Stamps, Queen of Wands. They're dynamic and authentic. VA is ready to get things done. This is it. The Riders have the Hermit, which is reflection. They're going to try and draw on what they did last year to get a path back to the Grey Cup. The Bombers have the Princess of Swords, and this is making connections. They have a new OC who has probably a million ideas, and can they all fit the pieces together? The Argos have the 6 of Cups, which is familiarity and nostalgia. Chad is back, but don't get stuck in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Ticats, Knight of Swords. This is intense focus, and this season is a business trip. There's no overalls. We're standing on business. Alouettes, the Queen of Swords. This is, I just said all class and sass. So it's how it's going to be. The Red Blacks, they have the Princess of Swords, and this is creativity and free spirit. Ryan is breathing in some fresh air. So that's how the season's going to start. How's the season going to end for some people? Let's find out what the tarot cards think, and we can check back at the end of the year to see if they were correct. So the BC Lions have the Emperor, and I just have this it's the guy. So whether that's Rourke or the team, we'll see. The Elks have the 4 of Cups, and this is just distracted and rumination, and you just can't put a whole season together again.
So status quo in Edmonton, okay.
I didn't want to talk about it, and I won't talk about it, but I'll just say I've listened to a couple interviews with Chris Morris the last couple of weeks, and this is of no surprise. And the Stamps have the Chariot. So this is victory and inner drive, and there's going to be some bumps in the road, but if VA can hold it together, they'll be just fine. The Riders have the 9 of Cups, which is the wish card, and this just says wishes will come true. There's 2 people on this panel not happy about that. The Bombers have the 10 of Pentacles, and that's legacy and tradition, and it's a long-term perspective. So this is more building. So the tarot cards, they think that this is not the year, but they are building towards something really great. Did you hear the Riders one?
Unfortunately I missed that one. So say that again.
I'll just retell it to you because you need to hear it. It's the 9 of Cups, and it just says wishes come true.
Well, that would be nice. That would be time for a two-peat at least.
Yes. All right, the Argos, Hanged Man, Sacrifice and Suspension. This is, they're stuck between the future and the past and need to explore alternative options.
So are we saying at the end of the season, the Argo fans are going to be ready to hang Kelly?
Well, we'll see. I make no comments. The Tag Cats, Wheel of Fortune. This is the card that the Alouettes got in the Grey Cup. This is like, you can either adapt or complain. So there's going to be some upheaval in Tiger Town, and we'll see how they
that maybe makes some sense too.
Alouettes is the Fool. This is sky's the limit. All class, all sass, but make sure you keep yourself a bit grounded or you're going to fly too high. And then the Red Blacks have the Magician, and that's Ryan. The ultimate power to manifest destiny. The cards are looking for whether they finish in the power games or how they do them. It's going to be an exciting season for the Red Blacks.
I'd say
so that's it.
Yeah,
that's what's going on.
I'd say a lot of those cards resonate with how I see realities.
Yeah, some of it sounds pretty close.
Yeah.
Look at you guys.
Yes. So we yeah. Well, we'll see. That's the fun of the game.
Yes.
And that takes us down to our last thing. And they, like I said, every break in the first preseason game was play the season predictor. So we're going to, but first we're going to also, because we all have our own teams on here as far as the personalities on here, we're also going to play the team picker for the show and see what it says about what team the CFL outsiders should be supporting. Okay, if this works.
That thing, no matter what I say, I've done that for quite a few years. No matter what I say, MJ, you'll love this. It says Hamilton every time. I can change every single thing 3 different ways to Sunday, and it comes up, your team's Hamilton. I'm like, why? Like it. Yeah. Okay. So let's do it. If it comes up Hamilton, I'll do.
Okay. So apparently we have, I think, 10 questions to ask. The first one is favorite color: red, blue, yellow, or green.
For who? For each of us? Are we doing
For each
separate
of us,
ones? Yeah.
Yellow. Are we going to go red? And I'd go green.
Isn't,
so that tells me
the color wheel. That's why you get Hamilton.
Yeah. So since we all had individual ones, I'm going to pick the color none of us had and go blue.
No, that's the worst color.
Okay. It's game day. Who's coming with you? A big group of friends, my go-to football buddy, my family, or just me in the game?
I always put down my go-to football buddy because that's who goes to the games with me.
My family goes to the game with me.
There you go.
Okay. And although if it was me,
this year I am taking the grandkids a couple times, so maybe the family.
Okay, and with me it'd be probably family too. So family we pick for number 2. Okay. Time to buy merch. What are you going to buy first? A team jersey, a classic hat or toque, a foam finger, or a hoodie or sweatshirt? I'm getting the foam finger, so you guys will have to go from there.
I'm getting the hoodie. I need pockets.
I'd probably get a hat.
Okay, so since we're again all over the board, we're taking the one we didn't pick, a jersey. Okay. What's your go-to stadium snack? Popcorn, poutine, nachos, or candy?
Candy.
Poutine, did you say, GT?
Yeah.
Okay, I vote there too. So it's that, not candy. Okay.
You people and your gluten, so
yes,
lucky.
I know. I know. Okay. What type of CFL fan are you here? Well, I think we may all fit into the same one here. The diehard fan, the casual supporter, the snack MVP, or the stats guru?
Diehard.
You say diehard?
Yeah.
Well, diehard.
I think so.
It's not the stats MVP.
We're doing this. Okay, and just to let you know, GT, it looks like it might not be Hamilton. We're halfway through, and it says the teams that suit you best so far are the Riders, the Alouettes, and the Argonauts. So
It's because we
What
picked
type of
blue.
football player gets you the most hyped? The deep touchdown player gets you the most hyped. The deep touchdown pass, massive defensive hit, trick play, or goal-winning field goal. Me, it's got to be defense. What I like about the game. The big hit.
Trick play.
Trick
Okay.
play.
Okay, trick play it is. And strangely enough, with your tarot about the Lions and their trick play, the photo for trick play is Nathan doing a sort of a backhanded pitch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you were in the CFL, what position would you play? Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, or defense?
Defense.
Wide receiver.
Defense. Sorry, it's defense.
Defense
There's
wins
two of us.
championships.
I played both sides of the ball. I like the defense more.
Like ruining the party. Got it.
What's the best part of the CFL season? The kickoff, Labor Day rivalries, Grey Cup playoffs, or all season long?
All season long.
I
Well,
can go
season,
with that.
but specifically Labor Day.
Yeah.
It's all I have, you guys. It's all I have.
Well, then we got two of them, and I'm gonna go with GT and say all season long. Okay, we still haven't got Hamilton back in the mix yet. It's
See, you needed to pick Labor Day.
It's now Riders, Argonauts, and Elks are there. Okay, how do you celebrate a win?
Great.
With the family, free up the grill with friends, rewatch the highlights, or already thinking about the next game?
Rewatch the highlights.
Sorry, what were the first two?
With the family, or fire up the grill with friends, or already thinking about the next game, or rewatch the highlights?
Just like rewatch the highlights, I guess. This is a weird
Okay.
question.
That is. That's two of us. Two of you. So I don't have to put mine out there. I'm, of course, already thinking about the next game because that was. Anyway, what activity or experience would you want to do in the Yukon this summer? By the way, this is sponsored by the Yukon.
Sponsored by.
By the
this is
Yukon,
just
yes.
for the Yukon. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, take the reins of your own dog sled. Explore the wilderness on a fat tire bike. Guide along Broome cross-country ski trails. Or see the Northern Lights.
Northern Lights.
Northern Lights.
Okay, so it is. If you'd picked dog sledding, well, actually not anymore, but if it was 10 years ago, I could have arranged that for you. In Manitoba, though, not in the Yukon. And congratulations, our team is... Anybody want to guess who we're cheering for this year?
If it's the Argos, I'm going to cry.
It's going to be Edmonton, of course.
It's going to be
No, I'm
Toronto.
afraid MJ's got to get the tissues out. We are officially Toronto Argonaut fans.
Shouldn't have picked blue at the beginning.
It's your fault, old man. You picked blue.
Hey, I went with the... I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so remember that all
Right.
season. We're Argo fans here as officially as the podcast.
Good thing they're number 9 on the power rankings.
Yeah. I think if there was a team that none of us wanted, it was that. Okay, let's do our season predictor. We're almost done
Okay.
here. Let people go. Welcome to the season predictor. I have read the terms and agreements. Yes, I have. 10 questions on the season. Which position will be the first touchdown? Which position will score the first touchdown of the 26th season? A QB rush, running back, wide receiver, defense, or special teams? And the first game of the season, I'll remind you, is Montreal at Hamilton.
Receiver.
I'm thinking quarterback. So you get to break the tie, or
Last year it was a QB. It was a short yardage.
Yes,
But
it was.
but Hamilton doesn't do short yardage. So, let's go receiver.
Yeah, you got
Davis-
Kenny, you got
Receiver,
Lawler,
okay.
you got Lawler and Philpott between those two guys. Come on.
yep.
They're gonna air it out.
Will a kicker make a field goal longer than 60.5 yards?
Yes.
I say yes. Okay. Will a player have more than 12 and a half sacks during the regular season?
And a half.
So,
Yeah.
so it's not say so.
Over under.
Will they have 13 sacks or more? Because I'm fairly sure we don't count half sacks. I don't think we've done that in years. So
Maybe.
13
yes.
sacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Okay. I was going to say bonus points for saying who. Okay.
Just remember last year, MJ, you didn't think anybody would get there.
I still
Yeah.
actually don't think anyone will, but we'll see.
Yes. Yes.
It's like QB high flyers this year.
Yes. Well. If I let my fandom come in, I would have to say yes, they will, and it will be a yet to be determined Saskatchewan Rough Rider. because we have no idea who's playing the ends there. Okay, will Winnipeg's Brady Oliveira have over or under 1,700 and a half rushing and receiving yards combined during the regular season?
1,700.
1,700 and 0.5. So he has to get 1,701.
Under.
With Tommy Condell.
Yes.
Under.
Under.
Yeah, actually, that's, come to think of it, when I rated Bombers up in the power rankings, I forgot Condell's COC. Oh, well. Sorry, Tommy. It's just my opinion. What do I know?
Been...
Okay. Which quarterback will lead the 2026 season in passing yards? And we have 4 choices. So Nathan Rourke, Bo Levi Mitchell, Trevor Harris, or other.
Oh, but because of garbage time.
Other.
Just like last year.
I'm going to go with Bo. So we're picking Bo because that's 2 of us. Yeah, the other, there's 5 others to go from. And it's, there's some good quarterbacks in there, but.
Was Alexander not an option? Like,
that's why I picked other.
That's
why I picked other.
Yeah, but don't forget, as good as.
Yeah, he's got to stay healthy. If he plays 18 games, he could lead the league. If he doesn't play 18 games, if that leg gives him issue, then he's not going to be close. So that's the big thing. But I think if he plays all 18, if he's healthy, he can lead the league in passing for sure. And they have the receivers to do it.
See, and I would say, I don't think he'll get it, regardless of how healthy he is, just because that's not really how they're set up. I mean, if you look at when he was playing well, he's not a guy that's throwing for 300 to 400 yards a game. It's 200 to 300, the way their game is set up with defense and that. So I don't think it's going to be him this year. Again, my opinion.
I think if you go back to those first 4 games of last year when they were winning and he was slinging the rock, you go back and look at those stats, you'll be surprised at his yardage.
That could be. I have trouble remembering yesterday, let alone a year ago. Okay. Will any team score over 40 points on Thanksgiving weekend?
Okay, so what are the matchups?
Well,
let me see if I can find
Ticats,
those.
Argos.
Thanksgiving? No.
I'm thinking Labor Day. Thanksgiving.
No, this is Thanksgiving, which is what threw it for me. I can't even remember what the date is on Thanksgiving this year.
No.
I'll look for a Monday game in October, and that's the week.
Yeah, that'd be it.
Saturday. That's Montreal.
Here we go. Monday, October 12th. So that would have to be the one.
Are they counting the whole weekend or just the Thanksgiving Monday week?
No, it'd be the Thanksgiving weekend. So it's the weekend. So we got Edmonton at Hamilton, Ottawa at BC, Calgary at Winnipeg, and Saskatchewan at Montreal.
And it's if any team will score?
Yeah, 40 points.
Oh.
I would say yes then, because I think BC could score 40 points against Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we good with that? Yeah,
Hamilton
well, 2 of us are.
Also do that against Edmonton.
Yeah. Okay. Will a team finish the regular season with 13 wins?
Yes, I have a team finishing with 13 wins.
Oh, who's your 13-win team? Are you not saying?
No, I can tell you if you want. When we finish, I'll give you my season predictors if you like.
Okay, sure. Let's do that. We kind of get there with the end of these anyway, but so you're saying yes. How about you, MJ?
I always think that they're going to be all bunched up and then some teams just dunk it and then other yeah, there'll be a team with 13 wins.
Okay, so we'll say yes. I personally don't think so. I think it's going to be a little too close in the equality or the parity in the league. That's the word I was looking for.
Last year.
Okay, so we're now down to the actual playoffs. Which team will win the Eastern Final? So you have the 4 Eastern teams and a Western crossover.
That'll win.
I'll take Montreal.
It's going to be Montreal.
Yeah, I would say so too. The Western, this is where it gets questionable because we've got the 5 Western teams and the Eastern crossover.
The Eastern crossover.
I'm taking BC.
I'm going with Saskatchewan again because I'd have to, but
so
you get the deciding vote.
The tarot cards told me Riders, but I think it's.
You can go with somebody other.
I'm gonna go. I know. It could be Calgary because I'll pick Calgary because it's a home playoff. It's Grey Cup.
Okay, so now we have to find a way to figure that one out because we're all over the board on there. So Does anybody want to change their vote, or should we just? Does anybody have a dice near them?
If there's a team that could knock, so we're saying the West final. Who
Yeah.
wins the West final?
Yeah.
Okay, I will change. I will change mine to only because I'm willing to. I will change it to. We're still in the old playoff format this year.
Yeah.
No, this is the last year for those predictions. This is it.
So that I'm going to go Calgary.
Okay, so Calgary it is. And then we have to pick out of the 9 teams, and we've kind of said Calgary and Montreal. So which of those two is going to win the Grey Cup?
I would take.
And see, I will take Calgary if we have to go with those two, simply because it's in Calgary.
And I think that's the reason. That's the reason I took Montreal. Hometown.
I think that will take it over the top. So, MJ, the final question, you get to decide. Montreal or Calgary?
Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to put my belt buckle on and pick Calgary.
Okay. VA's hoisting the trophy at the end of the season. I got to admit, that would be...
It would be so nice.
That would be
him.
about... Yeah. That would be a good one for the universe.
Yeah. All things being equal, that would be really nice.
Okay, so there
For
we are.
him,
We're locked
not
in.
for me, personally.
Now, GT, you were saying you were going to be willing to talk about your predictions for the year. I don't know if either of the other of us are ready, but go ahead. Be brave.
So you want my season predictors? What I said I done? Okay, so about a month. What was it? About a month ago. It's already been about a month since the draft. Just around draft time. I was post draft. I sat down with the schedule and I just went through the schedule each week by each week and went based on this, based on nothing else, just based on gut feel, where they were last year, where I think that who they've drafted and where I think their weaknesses are, who could win this game at this time of year. If they're coming off a bye, if they're at home, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. That's it. And so then I went through it and I did it that way so that I could see the numbers work as well. So that I wasn't, you had a whole bunch of teams and your numbers don't work out right. So this is what and I was very surprised at this, by the way, when I was finished. I did this unbiasedly as much as I could. I didn't do it with an intent. I just did it based on the games that I saw in front of me. And I was surprised at the way it came out. So I had, in the East, I had Hamilton in first place at 11-7. I had Montreal in second at 10-8. I had Ottawa in third at 6-12, and Toronto in last at 4-14. In the West, it's a little more interesting. I had BC in first at 13-5. That was my 13-win team.
Okay.
I had, this is the weirdest, this is the one that's kind of bizarre. And this had nothing to do with our colors. It's just the way it turned out. I had Calgary in second at 11-7. I had Saskatchewan in third at only 10-8. And I had Edmonton at 9-9 and Winnipeg at 6-12. So that's my, simply looking at the schedule and saying, yeah, I think that's who would win that game.
Okay. Yeah. That makes perfect sense. And actually, I'm going to throw I'm calling an audible. I'm going to throw an unplanned question at you on this. And that's basically, when we went into the playoffs last year, I would say that of the 6 teams in the playoffs, there were probably 5 that had at least a reasonable chance of getting through to the Grey Cup. I don't think Winnipeg, the way they were playing at the time, did. So that left Winnipeg and then the 3 non-playoff teams, Ottawa, Toronto, and Edmonton. So of those 4 that really had no chance last year, if one of them comes up and wins the cup this year, who will it be?
If one of them comes up and wins the cup, it'll be the Argos, because they always win when they're in turmoil, right? It's just the way it works.
Yeah,
it's just,
that's true.
9-9
and then win the cup.
6-8 is 6-12 and win the cup. I mean, they just,
exactly
what they do. And somehow if there's one team that can do it, it'll be them. With everything else they got going on this year, if there's a team that somehow, how did they manage to do it? It'll be the Argos. Because even if it's Edmonton Edmonton, you can kind of see they've built it now. They've got it in place. They're on the up. I have them as the crossover team, by the way. They would be if those records that I just predicted stand, it would be Hamilton, Montreal, BC, Calgary, Saskatchewan, and Edmonton as the crossover. So yeah, I could see Edmonton doing it, but of the teams that would be the biggest surprise, it would be Toronto somehow sneaking in there and then winning it all.
Hey, well, should I say that the magician card in my tarot pull, if anyone's gonna pull something out of their hat, it is Ryan. And yeah, if out of those four, if anyone's gonna do it, it'll be the Red Blacks, and we'll all look silly.
Okay, and yeah, and with me, I'll go to the other side of the country. And the way that I said on the power rankings, you think it'd be Winnipeg, but no, I really think that if one of those four sort of surprises us badly, much like you said, GT, it'll be Edmonton. And there's something about Fajardo and that underdog mentality and the way they were putting stuff together. If there's a surprise, I think they're the team to do it.
Yeah, but but they're not. That won't be a surprise to me.
Yeah,
that's
I
the
know.
difference. The difference is
the
that
last
won't
time
be a
that
surprise.
they even made playoffs for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's a 9-team league, so it's kind of hard to pick many that would be a surprise. You know, it's of the ball. Really, I would think that the only two that would seriously be a surprise would be the two eastern ones, Toronto or Ottawa.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I have to pick between the two of those, I would say Ottawa, just because they've made a lot of changes, and look what Dinwiddie did when he first got to Toronto. So maybe until we see how can't even remember the coach's name, the quarterback coach that became the Johnson, is it? The
Miller.
new head coach. Miller.
Yeah,
Miller, that's it. Yeah. One of the many Ken Millers coaching in the league. Is it Ken? Anyway, we should end this before I make too much of a fool of myself. So, any closing thoughts? Want to let people know where they can follow you?
Well, as always, you can see me at GT Barnum on Blue Sky, and that's about it. Oh, and wait a minute, I have had a couple of things thanks to my helping hands here show up on Instagram and so on. So those are there, and apparently shorts on YouTube and stuff. So hey, thank you very much. And yeah, that's where you can find me. And next week you may find me here again. You may not, but you may find me here again next week.
Something we don't know?
Something you don't know.
Okay.
We're posted on Instagram. Season's started up. I'm gonna post the tarot cards up on Instagram, and we can see if anyone has a comment about them. You can find me over on Blue Sky learning basketball and the element ending in the CEBL, despairing of the Blue Jays, and putting on some black and gold ready for the CFL season. Yeah, I'm over there at Sports and Plants.
Okay. And I'm personally on Blue Sky at Oldman-SAC, and the podcast is now all over the place. We do still have a presence on Twitter to promote there, but we're on Blue Sky, we're on Gander, we're on North Social, we're on Mob, we're on Mastodon. I don't know. Look anywhere for the CFL Outsiders. We're taking over the world. So you can find us everywhere there. And remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, if you're one of the new viewers or you just haven't got around to it, hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. It does wonders for us growing our empire, and make sure that you don't miss anything. So hit the subscribe, turn the notifications on. We're looking forward to a full season of it. We've got 21 weeks of season and 3 weeks of preseason. So 24, maybe 25 shows coming up, and hopefully we'll continue to entertain you. Until next week, for GT and MJ, this is Oldman saying, get the hell off my lawn.